Okay, that is another video for you. I know you're trying to give the Krig a run out, so what I thought I'd do is put a video together of how it might be better to play with your assault rifle. So it'd be a little bit slower, taking up power positions, and what power positions are areas on the map that have really good line of sight of the map. So normally a bit further back, or even the plane would be a power position where you're stood there, good cover, that it's hard to get to, and that you have a good line of sight over the map. It means you have to think about your positioning a little bit more in terms of your you're not going charging in, because what you don't want to do with a Krig is end up taking on fast moving SMG players, because they'll beat you every time. What you want to do is give yourself the best advantage and take gunfights at a distance. So it means being patient, and sometimes it'll feel like you're not getting any kills, but it's a really important position, because not only you'll be dying less, and you'll be able to call out a lot of plays, because you'll see more maps. So for example, if I'm running around my SMG, I'm charging around like a lunatic, whereas if you're sat back behind me giving me the cover fire, you can probably be like, oh careful, there's someone at the back.
Team
So it's an important
deathmatch.
role. So the other thing
Alright, B&D, work your
minimap
frag lists.
is super important. You have to keep watching it even though you're not still. So I'm gonna guess
We've
someone is
pulled
coming
ahead.
there. So I can see top plane, I can see bottom plane, and I can see the side. So technically these are bots, so they're not going to be good. The other thing is, when you're aiming, what you want to try to do is get to a point where you're aiming like this. So you're back and forward, and it's just popping your head out, because if there is someone shooting... Now, so I can see I've still got blues on my side of the map, which means that I know that the enemy is still going to come from the other side of the map. So I'm back here, and while I'm back here, nobody should spawn behind me. So I'm listening for footsteps, and I'm watching the map. So again, I can hear gunfire, I can see that there. Okay, so...
Sentry turret available.
Right, so 2 lines of sight covered there. And again, I haven't left, but when these are real players, you'll be found out. So if you're getting all these kills, people will get annoyed and they'll come for you. So what's good is to have a couple of places like you could quite easily clear them. So when they're looking for you next door, you'll be ready for them to come back to kill you. So again, with this one you can bob up and down.
Napalm strike standing by.
So I've got my aim ready here, and what you want to do is see that, I'm just walking backwards and forward. See them bullets missing me? If I'm stood still, I'm an easy target, back and forward. So again, look, I can see top plane, I can see bottom plane, and I can see where my blues are going now. My blues are pushing on quite hard, so we're still spawning behind, but I'll show you what I mean. So now all the blues to the other side. If I push through over here, what I'm effectively doing now is flipping the spawns. So I'm at the back. Again, this is a good power position here, because I can still see the plane,
Enemies destroyed your
fly back.
sentry turret.
So now I know that everyone will come from the other side of the map. So this is a brilliant power position on this map. I can see left, I can see plane, and I can see under plane.
Artillery awaiting target coordinates.
So here.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
So I also have the shotgun. So I know there's
Enemy
a guy
counter
just
spy plane
underneath here.
inbound.
So again, up here is another good position. So I can pop up and down. So they've got a counter spy plane now, so I don't actually know where they're coming from. So I think they're still down this end of the map. So we've got blue spawning here, so now the spawns are flipped. That means that they're going to spawn out exactly where that grenade just came from.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Nothing personal, it's only business.
So Craig, because so another good place. So depending on if you know where the spawns are, we've got this over here. Again, we flip the spawns now. So
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
So I know the spawns are down this end, so I'm going to try and trap them.
Turret ready to deploy. Good hit, good hit.
Sockets, it's pinks. Okay, can I have footsteps? Can see pinks now over here.
Area awaiting target coordinates.
See how even there with the bots, again, I completely exposed myself there and I just got shot down. So that was not a clever move at all. Okay, so I've just held my position there.
Enemy counter spy plane inbound. We pulled ahead.
Ah, that's why you don't have a break. So, again, lovely position here. So this is good. I can see
Enemy
over here
counter
to the
spy
right.
plane inbound. Artillery targeting detected.
With the Krieger, I would have taken those long range
Net call.
gunfights.
Incoming artillery.
Ah, too good.
Scorcher 4-2 exiting the AO. Stay safe down there.
Couldn't ask for more, BND. Return for debrief.
So,
Hostiles are pulling back. TACOM, we are in control.
so you can see that just from playing slightly different, you need to use the advantage of the weapon and the assault rifles. You want power positions where you're giving yourself less challenges of trying to snap on. So find a good position. You're kind of guessing pretty much where you think they're going to come from. If you can learn just to strafe back and forward behind the cover, again, you'll need to speak to Joe for some more tips on playing like this, because I don't do it very often. But what you will find, the more that you reference the minimap, it's not just the bad guys that you're looking out for. You need to see where the rest of us as a team are, because if we're still one side of a map, you'll already know then that they're going to be coming from either in front of you, or it's a good chance they'll come from the right. And say, if you've positioned like in B&Q where that MDF is, from basically if we use Canada spawns, that would be sort of back right. If I've gone over to left through concrete, you don't really have to worry about that, because that's the side I have. Now, you'll probably be covering my fight, but technically, if I'm in a gunfight over there and I get killed, I'll be able to turn around and go, I've just died in concrete, which means then you could either look over and go, right, I've got that covered off, or I could be like, look, there's no one down here, and that will tell you then that there's more than likely they're going to be coming through plane or to the right. So again, it's just ruling out places where you need to guess where they're coming from, and that's why, like, if we're playing roles within the team, that's why this is important. Like, with you staying back or pushing forward, you actually have the choice whether to control the spawns, because you're at the back as well. So while you're there, it's less likely any of the enemy can spawn there, which gives us an advantage as a team, because we know that they will be at the other side. So as long as we know you're holding, then we'll just make sure we don't push through to flip the spawns. So stuff like that's important. So it's not just about picking up the gun and going, this is good, this is bad. It's kind of using it to its advantage. You have to play slower, you've got to play patient, and there's particular power positions on certain maps. Some are really obvious because they've got the best lines of sight and the best position to be in, but the problem with that is people know that you're going to likely to be there, so you'll come under a lot more gunfire, and obviously bots don't shoot very well, whereas real people do. But you'll find then that the more you take up these positions, there'll be just ones that work from you, and you'll find that there's lines that people use to move through the map more regularly, so you'll be able to guess right more times where they're coming from. Hopefully when you're comfortable with it, you'll be calling out stuff to us to be like, right, I've just seen them, they're coming bottom right of the map, or whatever map we're on. So even from that point of view, it'll be useful. But I think why it will work for you, it's a bit slower. It takes out the kind of trying to snap on really quickly when someone just runs around a corner, because you're giving yourself the most time to try and get on target and get your shots off. So I think that's good. It'll help us as a team to have that role as well, because there's times we get overrun because we don't have that. Everyone's pretty much doing their thing. Like I say, Joe plays this role really well out of all of us, so it's just learning it. But rather than just try and pick up a Krig and try and play it the same way as an SMG, you'll find that that's frustrating. Whereas if you just slow down, a little bit more patience, because we play as a team now, I think you'll get a lot more out of it. But hopefully that makes sense and explains what I was trying to say. But anyway, any questions, give me a shout.